Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. So inshallah we start our class with Surah Al-Fatihah. Bismillah. Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. So inshallah today class is for section 1. So as we have public holiday on 16th of October, so today is our replacement class, okay? For section 1. So basically for this class is on the introduction on this subject, which is BEV 30303, power generation, transmission and distribution. Okay, so for this semester we have 4 sections. So I have to handle section 1 and section 2. We have Puan Rohaiza for section 3, and also for section 4 is Professor IR Dr. Irwan Sulaiman. Okay, so for section 1 our class will be on Sunday, while section 2 is on Thursday. So at the same time 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. but I think for our class we start at 8:30 a.m. so I give you time for you to break first, and maybe some of you want to perform solat duha kan, so kita start at 8:30 a.m. and then for section 1 our place it is at block Q, QB, bilik tutorial 1, and then section 2 is B6 BSc 2, GS guru sama. Okay, so this is about myself. I'm Dr. Nahanis binti Muhammad Razi. My room is at QA block, okay, number 50121, and then my email is nohanis@uthm.edu.my. I will handle section 1 and 2, and my handphone number is 013-771-66878, and the online platforms that I'll be using in this subject is WhatsApp group, author. Okay, so all information about this subject will blast in the WhatsApp group and author. So please make sure that you are in this WhatsApp group and also author. So I have shared the WhatsApp group link, so make sure that you join now. Okay, for those that just register the subject, so please make sure that you join the WhatsApp and also author. And then for asynchronous teaching method, online teaching method, I'll be using YouTube channel. Okay, so this is my YouTube channel lah, Suhatul Nur. Okay, so this is the student academic load, okay, for this subject. So we have 3 types of category for activities. Okay, first one is the guided learning, second is the independent study, and third is the formal assessment. So for guided learning, we have the learning activities are lecture. So we have 42 hours per semester. And then we don't have any tutorial or practical for this subject. And then we have the other student-centered learning activities, because you have to do your group project. So you need to discuss with your team members. That's why I allocate about 15 hours per semester for your group project. And then independent study is based on the individual activities. Okay, so you have to prepare assignment, project and others, allocation about 15 hours per semester. And then you have to do the revision, 20 hours per semester, and preparation for the assessment, 10 hours per semester. And then for the formal assessment, we have the continuous assessment. This one contain of the quiz and also a test, and also your group project. So it's about 15 hours per semester. And then we have your final examination, 3 hours per semester. So your total student learning time, SLT, is about 120 hours per semester. Okay, this is the course goal, the course aim for this subject. Okay, so the aim of this course is to provide students with a systematic understanding of the operation of the modern electrical power network, which consists of generation, transmission and distribution, which is GTD. Okay, So the topics include various, the first one is types of power generation technologies. So you will learn on different types of power generation technologies such as the conventional power system and also the renewable technologies. Okay, and then a study of the elements of transmission and distribution. So we have different types of transmission and distribution. We have overhead, we have underground. Okay, and then you will know how to design the transmission line, okay, the performance of the transmission, and so on. And then we have the constant of transmission. The constant of transmission is regarding the electric constants. For example, we have to consider the resistance, the capacitance, the inductance, okay. And then the types of transmission system. Okay, we have different models of the transmission. For example, we have short, medium and long model of transmission system. So you will know how to evaluate the performance of these types of transmission system. And finally, we have the AC distribution system. Okay, and this is the cause and the outcomes. So I believe that all of you know about the cause and the outcomes. So each of the cause need to have the learning outcomes, because when we design our structure, academic structure, curriculum structure, we have to identify first what is the outcomes of the programs, of the course. Okay, so for this subject, at the end of this course, the student will be able to, the first one is you can analyze the various types of power generation, okay, and the elements of the transmission and distribution system based on electrical power theory. So as you can see here, we have three different characteristics okay, that we map with this CLO. So the first one is LOD, second one is PLO, third one is C. Tu apa benda semua tu. So you have to know the mapping of this CLO. So for information, for our programs, we have two agencies that we need to follow, which is the first one is the MQA, Malaysian Qualification Agencies, and the second one is EAC, Engineering Accreditation Council. Okay, so MQA, they propose the LOD, okay, so the learning outcome domain, okay, and then while EAC, they propose the PLO, okay, program learning outcome. So we have to follow both agencies, okay, outcomes from these both agencies. Okay, so LOD stand for the learning outcome domain, while PLO is stand for the program learning outcomes. Okay, so this the first CLO is met with the LOD number 1, which is KN is knowledge, while for EAC met with PLO number 1 also, so KN is knowledge. C is stand for cognitive. So in our program, we have three types of learning taxonomy. Okay, learning taxonomy. So we have the cognitive, the psychomotor, and also affective. Cognitive is based on your brain. Okay, your brain. So how you learn, how you understand about this subject. Okay, and then the second one is psychomotor. Psychomotor is based on your motor skills. You do the group project and we will evaluate your psychomotor parts. And then the third one is the affective. Affective is based on your heart, soul. Okay, how you give your responsibility, show your responsibility when doing the group project, and so on. Okay, so this learning taxonomy have different levels. Okay, for example, we have the cognitive, we have cognitive 1 until 6. Okay, so for this subject, your cognitive level is 4. Okay, and then the second CLOs is to conduct a project on GTD of electrical power according to accepted practice and regulation. So we map CLO2 with LOD8, which is SC is social skills, and PLO 10 communication skills, and we met with taxonomy. The learning taxonomy is psychomotor level 4. And final one is CLO3 is recognize the effects of environmental issues with regards to electric power system. So we met with LOD 18 environmental system, and then PLO 7 environmental system, and also effective level 3. Okay. So this is the mapping of the course of module to the PLOs. Okay. As you can see before, so CLO met with PLO number 1. Okay. So this one we evaluate your cognitive level. Okay. And then teaching methods is lecture. So assessment is by test, assignment. So assignment you have quiz, and then your final examination. Okay, while CL2 we met with PLO 10. So we evaluate your, this one is C, this one is your psychomotor. Okay. And then it's based on your lecture, project, and also group discussion for the teaching methods. And assessment is based on your group project, your report, your video presentation. And finally is your CLO3. CLO3 is met with PLO 7, and we will evaluate your effective A. So the teaching method is lecture, project, and group discussion. And your assessment is based on your group project, your report, and video presentation. And the KPI of this subject, and actually is for all subject, is 50% of the student will achieve 55% of the marks. Then we can say that we achieve the KPI of this subject. Okay. Alright. This one is the PLO versus CLOs. As I mentioned before, we have PLOs, right? So in our program we have 12 PLOs. This is very, very important information. So basically, kalau we have the interview from EAC, the hot question is how many PLOs in your program? So basically, we have 12 PLOs and 3 PEOs. Okay. So as you can see, the first one, CLO, we met with PLO number 1. CLO2 is PLO number 10. And CLO3 is PLO number 7. So if you want to look on to all the details of the PLO and PEO, so you can get the information by this link from the website, FKEE website. Okay. Okay, this one is the learning taxonomy. As I mentioned before, we have 3 types of learning taxonomy, which is the cognitive, psychomotor, and also affective. Okay, so for cognitive, we have 6 level of cognitive. So basically 1 until 3 is year 1, year 2. Okay. So C4 until 6 is basically for year 3 and year 4. Okay. So for this subject we have C4, which is the analysis. You have to analyze. And then for psychomotor, P4 is mechanism. You need to show what is the mechanism that you will use to do your group project, for example. Okay. And then effective is A3 is valuing. Okay. Alright. So this is our lesson plan. Okay, lesson plan for this subject. So as I mentioned before, we will use the author system. Okay, author system, and also WhatsApp group to, I will deliver all the information in this platform. Okay. So this is the code for your author, and this is you can scan this QR code. For those that still new, okay, just register. So maybe you can just key in all this code and join our author. And for those that have been registered, I think the system will be automatically add in my author. All of you will add in my author for those that register earlier. Okay. So basically for this subject we have 8 chapters. Okay. Chapter 1 is about the introduction. So in the introduction, I estimate around 3 hours. So basically, the introduction is more on the importance of electrical energy, why electrical energy is superior to others form of energies, and then some of the history of electric power system, which is the conventional power system, and then what is the modern power system, okay, and then we look on to the power, what is power, okay, basic knowledge of power, what is energy, the efficiency, and so on. And then second chapter is electric power generation technologies. This took about 9 hours lah. I estimate will take about 9 hours because it will involve with theoretical, okay. It have around 220 plus slides for this subject, no, for this chapter. Okay, so basically for this chapter, we explain about the conventional power generation technologies. For example, we have the coal-fired power plant, we have the gas turbine, the combustion cycle power plants, okay, and then we have the renewable energy sources. For example, hydropower plant, we have the solar, photovoltaic, wind energy, and so on. And also we have the economics of power generation. And chapter 3 is about the elements of transmission and distribution system. As we know that we have different types of transmission and distribution system. We have the overhead, we have the underground, okay. Basically this chapter is about the more on the transmission line lah. Transmission line, the performance of transmission line, how to design the transmission line. We have to do the comparison on the volume of copper that been used in the transmission system, okay. And then chapter 4 is about overhead lines and its mechanical characteristics. So this chapter will focus more on the overhead lines and also the mechanical characteristic. For example, the important things in overhead lines. For example, we have tower, conductor, okay, insulator, and then you have to calculate the sagging in overhead lines, okay, and also some of the mechanical principles. Okay, and then chapter 5 is about the constant of transmission line. This one is more on the electrical characteristic, such as the resistance, the inductance, and also the capacitance of the transmission line. And this chapter will take about 6 hours, okay. And then chapter 6 is about transmission line performance. So as we know that the transmission have 3 different types of models. So we will look on to the performance of this transmission line, which is the short line, medium line, and also long line, okay. And then chapter 7 is about power factor improvement, about 3 hours. So basically power factor is very important in generation, transmission, distribution. So we have to make sure that our power factor is not less than 0.85, or else we will be penalized by TNB. So we will look on to what is the cause of this low power factor, and then what is the effect of this low power factor, and how to correct, how to improve the power factor. And finally is the AC distributors. Chapter 8 is about 3 hours. So this chapter is more about the distribution substation, okay, and then layout of the distribution system, and then types of distribution system. For example, we have the radial, loop, and also ring main system. Okay, so this is the important parts of this subject, which is the assessment of this subject. Okay, there are 2 types of assessment. The first one is the coursework, second is the final exam. So for the coursework, we have 3 types of assessment. The first one is your group project. So group project will cover chapter 1 and chapter 2, mapping with CLO2 and CLO3. So I will give the project's instruction by week 3, and you are given about 11 weeks to complete the group project. So you have to submit your group project in week 14 on Sunday, 21st of January 2023. And this group project will takes about 25% of marks. And then the second assessment is your test. We have 1 test. We cover chapter 1, 3, and 4, mapping with CLO1. So in week 7, on 27th of November 2022, which is on Sunday at 5 to 7 p.m, about 2 hours. Alright, this test is about 20%. Please make sure that you save the date, and make sure there are no other assessment from others subject on this date, okay, because I have booked this date at F2, okay, for your test. And then for your quiz, we have one quiz which cover chapter 5 and mapping with cell 01. So on week 12, 1st of January 2023 on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. by online lah, okay. So this mark is about 5% for quiz. So in total is 50% for your coursework. While for your final exam, mapping with CL01, we'll cover chapter 6 until chapter 8. So 3 chapters. And this final exam take about 50%. So in total for your assessment is 100%. Okay, so this is your timeline. So now you are in week 1. And then we start with week 3. We deliver the group instruction, the group project instruction, and you can start your group project by week 3. Okay, and then you'll be having your first test. Okay, your test in week 7. Okay, your quiz in week 12, and you have to submit your group project in week 14. So please make sure that you start earlier for your group project. Okay, and then you have your final exam maybe in week 16, 17, 18. Alright. So this is all some of the references that you can use for your subject. Okay, and then this is the attendance and regulations. So students must attend not less than 80%. So as you know that if you're not coming to the class with no justification, so it will deduct about 7%. Okay, so maximum is 3 days. Okay, 3 days absent without any justification. If more than 3 days, means that your attendance will be less than 80%, and you are not allowed to attend further lecture and sit for any form of assessment. Okay, and then students should adhere to the UTHM dress regulations. Okay, kalau lelaki, please make sure that you pakai baju yang bercollar. Elak pakai slipper. Okay, yang perempuan pakai baju yang proper, yang bersopan lah, jangan yang ketat-ketat. Okay. Okay, Alhamdulillah, I think that's all for the introduction of this subject, which is BEV 30303. So insyaAllah, we will continue with chapter 1 for the next class. Okay. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.